Hey folks, Dave Parrish here. Welcome to my channel. Please like it, subscribe if you can, that's helpful. Today's topic, let me grab this. Complex commission calculations using Knack. I'm doing a project right now for a real estate brokerage firm. It's actually in Germany. A pretty involved app. It tracks all their sales, all the different agents, all the offices, all the commissions, all the invoices. Another accounting app for me. Invoices that go to their clients, tracks everything by month, by office, all the reporting you can do. It's quite an interesting app. But one part of this was the commission structure. They have a sale, it's reviewed, it's approved, and then commissions for any of the agents that were involved are commission records created, and there's some complexity to it. I'm going to show you how I approach this. It works really well. Probably be a little longer than normal videos, but hey, that's a bigger topic. I'll be right back. Okay, let's jump into this commission thing here. I'm in the middle of building this, by the way, but let's look at the app. Here's what happens. An agent submits a sale. They've completed something. Now it goes to admin, and they got a list of all these things and there's different statuses, but unverified means it hasn't been checked out, approved by the admin. So what they do is they go to one of these. They're going to review all the information, and then here, update status. When it's turned to valid or verified, it's going to do a number of things. It's going to create invoices, but I'm not going to get into that. It's also, I'm not doing this because it's a real thing. It's going to create commission records for whatever agents were involved. And let me show you something here. Here's the commission structure. It's based on, it's called a commission basis. The more they sell during a year, the more commission they get. So in this case, this basis number, it's in euros. The ceiling for level 1, they get 25%. The ceiling for that is 96,000 euros. Once they pass that, they now get 30%. It's called level 2. And then the ceiling for level 2 is 150. Once they pass that, they get 35. There's a twist to that, though. This would be fairly straightforward, but the twist is if they're in level 1 and the current sale that we're looking at takes them to level 2, the way it's set up is they get proportionally whatever's due. The amount that resided up to their level 1 ceiling, they're going to get 25%. And then the remaining amount that is now resides in level 2, they're going to get 30%. And when my client told me that, man, I'm like, oh man, that's going to be something else. But let me show you how I deal with that. First of all, here's a table of the actual agents. They're all in German, but here's what we have. And by the way, each level, the percent they get, and each ceiling can be different for different agents. So it's dynamic, it's not static. So everyone has these. All the agents have where they fall with that. So now it's a matter of figuring it out. I'm going to go to something called all commissions right here. So here's a bunch of commissions. These are all tested, and I did my names on it. But they have a view. This is the basic stuff, and then they have a view of all the calculations. Now, to make this easier to look at, because when you go to the back end, I have a video on this. When you're looking at these records and the calculations, and you have to look at them horizontally, it's really difficult. It's really difficult to figure out what's going on. So if I need to do something, in this case, I'm doing it for the explanation for you folks, or sometimes you're doing it for troubleshooting. You export this, you put it in this spreadsheet, and then you tell it to transpose. So this is what this is. These are all the various fields in the commission record. There's a bunch of them because we cover a bunch of stuff. And then these are a number of records that I just exported for this explanation. I'm going to make myself smaller here. So this way we can explain what's going on. But here's what the deal is with the commission, how it's calculated. This first part here is just all the boilerplate stuff when the commission's made. The date of the sale it's related to, the office, we call it the side. Is it a buyer side, seller side, other agent side, and who the agent was. This is all grabbed and put into the commission record. Now we have to deal with this particular agent has his levels, his percentage, and his ceilings for those different tiers, which they all could be different for different agents. So what I say here is these are a set of fields and commission records that when it's verified, it grabs related fields. This tape related to the agent that's assigned to this commission record. Now when I say grab, it gets the value and places it in the commission record. It's not connected. If it was connected, down the road, these values could change. And if it was a direct connection, it would screw up the previous commission record. So we want to grab these. Now the next set of stuff is they're connected directly to the revenue. So if you edit the revenue, these are going to change, and that's appropriate. Now I actually don't need to have these native in here connected, because when you're going to do formulas, you can connect directly within the formula to related values. But I like to have them in here so I can see what's going on when I'm testing it out and make sure the math's all right. If it's hidden, nested down inside of a formula, you can't do that. Now, the next thing we got here, a bunch of normal calculations. And I'm not going to get into super detail on how this stuff is done, but what this does is says, hey, the commission, the net commission that the shop's going to get is this amount. And in this case, the basis of this, the agent gets 40% of this part of it. Now, there's a couple layers here. This is 40 times this amount is not what he's going to get paid. It's based on this basis thing, which I won't get into. So normal calculations here to figure out what percentage of the whole commission is the basis of what this person's going to get. That will end up being times by his actual commission rate, and that will be his payout. Now, the more complex part is here. If we go back to this movement thing, they could start in level 1 and with this sale end up in level 2, and we got to divvy this up. This is what this looks at. It's going to look at their commission before the sale, where they are year to date. And it's going to, based on, I'm going to go to it here. Let's go to the fields. And let's go to year to date. We'll just call it year to date. To date. It's going to go look at before the sale where they were, and what that amount will be where they're starting on the sale, what level. And through conditional rules, we can say, okay, at this level, based on this, they're at level 1 when they're starting. And then we're going to say, we're going to add to that the commission basis they get for this sale. And then we're going to do the same conditions. We're going to say, where do they end up when we add this sale into it? And then I assign a number to these because I can't really compare these. I don't know if there's a way to do that. I assign level 1, 1, level 1, 1. If it's level 2, I assign it 2. But then I do a simple calculation. I'm going to do where they started minus where they ended. And that ends up as a 0, which tells me they didn't transition to another level, which is going to be important. Now, the way I approach this is I'm calling it scenario based. There might be a way to do this with these if-then type of formulas. Might even be more finessed, but I'm not an expert on all those. So what this is, there's scenarios. Go back to this. They can be a scenario where they start at level 1. This commission remains them at level 1. So I call it a movement. There's a 1-to-1. And they're going to get a certain percentage on that. It could be 2-to-2. They stay within. They're already at level 2, and this sale doesn't take them out of 2. There's 3-to-3, and then there can be the transitions ones, which is 1-to-2 and 2-to-2. Theoretically, there could be 1-to-3, but it won't happen in practice, so I didn't cover that. So what I did is I made calculations for all those various scenarios. These are what all these are. And there's other type of sales, which I'm not going to get into. Rental, referral, miscellaneous, team lead stuff. I'm not addressing that. Those are more straightforward. So what all 1-to-1, or these when they stay in the same level, it's pretty easy. All we do, if they're in the same level, we're going to take their commission basis for this sale, and we're going to go grab times that by what they get for level 1, 25%. And it's going to result in this number. Now I do all these, 2-to-2, 3-to-3. These other ones are the transition ones, which are more complicated, and there's math in here that looks at where they are, how much their commission basis is for the sale, what the threshold is. It does a subtraction. It finds out how much of that commission basis resides in level 2, and then subtracts that basis from their whole commission due, and you end up at level 1. So then it does the math here. Now notice these. Well, using conditional formulas, we're going to look based on 1-to-1. If this is a 1-to-1 thing, it's going to be this right here, the 1-to-1. All these other calculations exist, but they don't apply, and we're not going to use them. And some of them are garbage with these negative numbers because we're subtracting things that aren't relevant to this, that are at higher value. So with these several commission records, I'm sort of tracking myself up to all the levels. 1-to-1, it's this. Here's another 1-to-1, it's this. This one happens to be 1-to-2. So we're going to drive what this is. Here's the proper calculations that end up with this amount. 2-to-2 is just this one. 2-to-3 is down here. And 3-to-3 is here. And then we have all these other numbers that aren't relevant. But this is all solved with this next thing. Don't worry about all this stuff. The commission that they get. This is, I'm going to go to it. First of all, we have all these different values in different fields. That's not easily managed in the live app. So I made a commission thing that's one field, which means it's one column, a table if you're looking at it. Let's go to the app. This is just going to be commission. I think you'll know what I'm getting at. It's down here. Commission. That's that one field that brings them all together. So we have all these conditional rules. Conditional rules are great. So it's going to look at each type of scenario. Is this 1-to-1? And is it this type of sale? Whatever. If it's 1-to-1, we're going to make that commission value the 1-to-1 commission value. If it's 2-to-2, we're going to make it 2-to-2, and so on. So this covers all those different scenarios and then drives the right value that we can use. Now, we have a couple other things here. There can be a manual adjustment for some reason, and then their final commission is going to be manual adjustment, and they can make a note for that. And then to show it in the app, here's a list of all these commissions. And each sales type, these are in German. This is miscellaneous. I'm learning some German. This is a referral. This is a rental, and these are sales. But we all have different calculations for the sales. Now, they were doing this manually before. Think of how much of a pain that would be and prone to error. This does it right every single time. But all these use different numbers from our different stuff going on here. So what we have here, we have a boilerplate stuff of what the amount is, but the rep's going to want, or the agent's going to see the calculation so it's right. So if we pick on sale, it's going to populate with all the stuff related to that. And if we pick on, let's say, miscellaneous, which is simpler, it's just going to have the stuff related to that. And that's accomplished through page rules, another awesome feature. You probably know what I'm getting at here. Let's go to that page. Where is it? View commission detail right here. So these are all these scenarios again. 1-to-1, 2-to-2, 2-to-2. And then we have a bunch of page rules. It basically says, hey, if this is 1-to-1, show 1-to-1 and hide all the rest. If it's 2-to-2, show 2-to-2, hide all the rest. That's what I got for this. This took a lot of staring. I even think I used pen and paper to figure out some structure. A lot of playing around with math. This didn't come to me like it might come to Rain Man. I had to do some work and some real thought on it, but I'm quite happy on how it turned out. So appreciate it, folks. Thanks.